Hey, good morning, my friends. This is MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Welcome to the MLive Morning Weather Update brought to you by Lush Lawn. Hey, for a little bit of conversation this morning before we get into weather, what kind of seeds are you starting right now? I'm full bore into starting most everything. Hey, Mr. Ambrosi. Um, I've got herbs up, basil, sage, dill, cilantro, and now I'm starting to get into the tomatoes and peppers and eggplant, stuff like that. So, what are you up to this morning? Hey, good morning, Amy Freeman and Chuck Hippischen. Hopefully, I got that right. And Jay Vanderwall. Good morning, Boyne City. All right, so today, right now, there is some precipitation out there, some across the western, northwestern part of the UP. Another band of rain starting to head towards southwest lower, so let's get into it. And by the way, also, as we look at the satellite picture, there is a little bit of clearing in places, not much. So, northeast, you have some sunshine, and there's a few places in southwest and south central lower reporting partly sunny skies, but that probably will be the exception rather than the rule today. All right, so let's get into what's going to happen. And this is about a 3-day storm system. Not that it will be continuous precipitation all 3 days, but the circulation of it will be around Michigan and around lower Michigan for today's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, even possibly the remnants of it on Friday in the form of, yes, you know what I'm going to say, in the form of snow. All right. So, and by the way, gardeners, I'll let you off the hook right now. It is not springish heading forward for the next 10 days. Do not remove the leaves off the perennials yet. If leaves are protecting your stuff, then keep them right there in place would be my advice to you. And you'll see why here in just a moment. Okay, so we go into this afternoon and this evening, and it's a little bit showery from Traverse City to the Detroit area, south and west, and a little snowy in the western part of the UP to maybe too much snowy for this time of the year for you. Overnight is when the rain will really settle into all of lower Michigan, and this is between, let's see what the time change is, between 2 a.m. and 8 a.m. tomorrow. And so you're looking at some quarter to half inch rains overnight. That's a solid rain. You're looking at snow from Gaylord or Grayling northward. And then the warmth continues to push north. I should do the quotes around it, warmth, and that we'll get into the warm sector, but it will only be 50s for most people. And showery on Wednesday. This is Wednesday night. The storm circulation, can hardly say it, is still circulating around the western side of Michigan. And this is Thursday, still looking showery and starting to see the blue in there as the colder air kind of comes in. And then we get into the weekend and Hey, good morning, Greg Milash. You know what? I don't know if I've ever done that in my 30 plus years as a meteorologist. Predicted the weather to be, because that's what it will be about this weekend. A good weekend to clean out your closets and organize them or something like that. Something that keeps your mind off of being outside. So not a ton of snow, but spurts of snow. And then as we get into next week, early, yeah, look at that. That could be an accumulating snow, and the second half of it is all snow and colder weather. Aren't you glad I tricked you into tuning me in this morning? Sorry. I figured if I put a headline that said, "This weather forecast stinks," nobody would check me out. So, sorry. I didn't lead you astray, though, did I? Hey, I haven't heard from anybody. What seeds are you planting right now? All right, so here's a little closer look at the radar forecast for today, 10 o'clock. It's running a little fast, so this is going to be this afternoon, and it probably looks a little more aggressive and rainy today than what it's actually going to be. But as we get into this late this evening and tonight, those of you in Clinton Township and Oakland County and southern half of Lower Michigan are get into some solid downpours, and look at the snow off in the UP. That's just a sign that the snow is not done. The cold air has not let up. All right, so what are you looking at here? I've lined this up for you. This is the surface temperature anomaly. Okay, so how much colder or warmer than normal it's going to be at any given moment. We're going to look out 10 days. So today and tonight, technically, it's slightly warmer than normal. Normal's now nearing 50 degrees in the southern half of the state. Pamela Todoroff just says, hey, I let somebody else grow the plants. That is a great idea because I think we should support the local greenhouses, but sometimes they don't have a particular variety that you want. So that's where I step in with the seeds of odd things that I may want, or a certain kind of head lettuce that I found is a good variety. Now we get into Thursday and start to get into Friday, and we start to shade colder than normal. And then we get to Saturday and looking at 10 degrees colder than normal. So if your average high is about 50 there, you're at 40. And then we get into Sunday, and the average high is nearing 20 degrees colder than normal. So again, 50 minus 20, you do the math, high temperature of 30. And then we're into Monday, and that warmth tries to come at us, but an Alberta clipper just suppresses it and drops in. Now we're into Thursday of next week, and we're just solidly into the 15 to 20 degrees colder than normal temperatures. That's April 1st right there. That is not a spring look. Yes, I think the geese are going to turn back south, and maybe we all should too for about a month. Little extended look here at the same European model. So here's our weather system that comes through tonight into Wednesday and Thursday, circulating around showers, eventually on the colder backside of it with some snow showers in there. And then here's our reinforcing shot of cold air this weekend. And look at that. That right there is just yuck. That's a northeast wind with the full flow of Canada behind it. Early next week, Alberta Clipper and squashes the warmth and brings in another batch of cold. And this is 10 days out. This is April 1st, okay? So I guess what you should get out of this is that, remember, the blue lines are cold temperatures aloft. The red lines are springish type weather. If you look at this, you could see that we've got a large pool of cold air still. Okay, so temperatures. Now put it into real terms for you here. Today, southern half of the state in the low 40s. Tomorrow, with that warm front, Kalamazoo, Benton Harbor, Battle Creek, you might get in the low 60s. And then you got a little strip of 50s, maybe Grand Rapids to Lansing to part of the Detroit area. Then you can see where the front is draped and where the northeast wind keeps the cold air in place, and the northeast part of the state only in the 30s. And then Thursday is colder, 40s to near 50 in the southeast if you're lucky. And then Friday is in the 40s. Then Saturday in the 40s south, 30s north. Then Sunday, high temperatures. Oh, Cody, I know. I thought we would be getting warmth, and no, the cold air has just collapsed. So no. What I talked about last week about a quick warm up that was substantial, Nope. I was duped. It happens. But we've been talking cold now for about 5 or 6 days here. So this is Sunday. It's cold. It feels like winter. This is Monday. Next Monday feels like winter. This is next Tuesday. Feels like winter. Now we're getting out to 9 and 10 days, so that can shift dramatically at this time of the year. Probably won't end up being that cold because it's hard to be 33 for a high on March 31st. It can happen, but it's hard to do it. So I guess I just made your day, huh? This is really, really. I'm sorry, Cody. Um, MFP. I don't know if I want to know what that stands for. There's so many acronyms nowadays. You can't keep track. I don't know if that's a bad acronym or just the way you do your name or what. But Jim McGuire's coming back from Punta Gorda tomorrow. How's it look for his trip? Well, if you wanted to come back to spring, I'd stick around for at least another 10 days. To be honest with you, probably 2 to 3 weeks. What we've had is a polar vortex disruption. And they can happen through the winter. They didn't happen through the winter, and now it's happened. We've found that in the last 5 years, they've happened. The last disruptions happened later, and it's really messed up our spring, our March into early April. So it looks like it's going to stay pretty chilly. Hey, that's the weather update for you. Sorry, it's not pretty. I guess I got to use the old standby line for you. Just keep waiting. Have patience. It is only March 22nd, and we really honestly know that March is mostly winter here in Michigan. So take care. Thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. I'm going to figure out some things to post that will be of interest for you today. Yesterday I was off. I was helping a buddy with one of his building projects. He was pouring cement, and he needed like all hands on deck. So I said, yeah, I'll get off my butt and get a little bit of hard work and exercise. It actually feels good at times. I don't know if I could do that day in and day out. That would be a lot of wear and tear on the body, but it was good to get out and move around and all that good stuff. And yeah, I can still use my shoulders and legs and all that stuff today too. So, hey, take care. Thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update, brought to you by Lush Lawn. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Take care.